Hi, I'm Ramon, and you're watching Box Talk with Luis Madrid, and you already know it's about to go down.
Lights, bigger stage, world watching, streets of me.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Box Talk with Luis Madrid. Today we're here in Gilbert, Arizona, visiting a good friend, friend of the channel, and just friend in general. And I know this is something that's been long overdue, so I appreciate you for giving me a little bit of time today and opening the doors to your home. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome ring announcer Razor Ramon Hedges. How are you doing today, bud?
Good, man. Thanks. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be on your channel, bro. It's awesome. It's obviously weird, different, because I'm usually behind the camera, but thank you so much, man.
No problem, man. Well, let's go ahead and jump right into it and start from the beginning. To start from the beginning, can you just tell the people a little bit about maybe just a little bit about your birthplace and your family life growing up? You know, whatever you feel like sharing. Family life, upbringing, how many siblings, stuff like that.
So, I grew up with my mom, my dad, my brother, my older brother. Born and raised in Mesa, Arizona. Born bred for Florida fed. But it was great. My parents they worked hard. They always they always made sure that we had food. Food on our plate, clothes on our back. Um, my mom, she worked for the schools, so going to school, we'd go with my mom, and my dad, he just he worked real hard, in his jobs, and um, hanging out with my brother, having a brother there, growing up with him, and just having it was like having like a friend with you at all times. And so very humble upbringing. My parents, they did what the best they could. They made sure we had experiences. um and they're amazing parents. They're amazing parents. They're good people, and I couldn't have been more blessed to be raised by them.
So it was a pretty normal childhood for the most part.
Pretty normal childhood. No, no real huge issues. Just uh, hardworking household. My mom, she came from Mexico, so crossing here to the United States, and then learning to get her citizenship, and growing up with that, and watching her study hard and things like that, and work hard in general. It gave me a sense of urgency and pride, to just make sure, if she can do it, come here with nothing on her, just with the clothes on her back. And, it, she, she's awesome, and so is my dad. He's awesome too. So.
Sure. And so as far as boxing as a sport, um, before you even ever stepping in a gym or training or doing anything, how far back do you recall you having like a love or a liking to the sport of boxing?
Um, I remember, I'm not sure if a lot of people haven't watched the fight, but it's crazy. There was a time where I watched Gaddy versus Ward, the first fight that they ever had together. And I remember it was a little late at night. It was like HBO at night, late night fight night. And I remember watching that fight, and I was hooked. I remember just watching them, um, both just gave everything they had in that ring. They left it all in that ring, and they ended up having two more fights after that, and they gave honestly, to me, to this day, I feel like it's the best trilogy of all time for me, to watch. And so that's when I was hooked to the sport of boxing, was watching Gaddy versus Ward. And ever since then, I've just been watching fights, as much as I could.
For sure. And so as far as actually stepping in a gym and and training and stuff like that, um, you have a really interesting story. I believe you mentioned that it was because you would when you were younger you would get bullied and stuff like that.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, um, I was getting bullied because I wasn't perceived as looking Mexican enough. Um, just just in general, they didn't believe they didn't believe I was Mexican. And the thing is, my mom, she took us to Mexico every summer, and she took us to all these places, to see our the roots and things like that. And it made me get a sense of, a lot of pride. And then coming here, coming back after, the summer breaks and things like that, and having these group of people, the group of people saying I wasn't Mexican enough to be around them. And it was kind of hurtful because, as a kid, you wanna be accepted by everybody. You wanna have a sense of acceptance, and having the same race of people not accept you and say that you're not good enough to be around them. And then they actually would jump for me. I remember I told them, I was like, I just want to hang out with you guys, I just want to kick it with you guys, things like that. And they said, okay, well, if you if you believe that you're Mexican enough to hang out with us, then you have to take a beating. So um for a long time I would take beatings from them, and I don't know why I was okay with it. I just kind of, you just wanted to do anything you could to have a group of friends. And so at one point I just got tired of it. There was just a day where I knew what ran through my veins, and I knew what I was, and I knew I was Mexican enough uh, to be a Mexican. And the thing is, I proved that, and I fought back. And I'm not saying that violence is always the answer, but I just, after a while, you get beat up, each and every single day. You get tired of it, and you fight back. And that's what I did. I fought back, and I never got messed with ever again after that.
For sure. Well, so was this like in high school?
This was from sixth grade all the way to probably the beginning of high school, maybe, if that. It was a while, dude. It was a while, but you know what? After that, I I felt proud because I never even told my parents that was going on, because I was just, I didn't want to bother them with that, and I was embarrassed. But after a while, like I said, I got tired of it, so I fought back, and I never got messed with again. And actually, after that, they never really talked to me after that. But I knew after at that moment, I just said, who cares what they think? I know what I am, and you know what? That day came, and I got my get back.
For sure. And so, with that being said, you know, bullying, especially at schools, it's something that goes on a lot nowadays. It's not a secret. So, what would you say to a young kid or just somebody in general that might be watching and might be going through a similar situation?
Um, yeah, honestly, I know it's easier said than done, but ignore them. You know, uh, every kid has confidence, and if you don't have confidence, you'll find something that'll give you that confidence. And that's what these people do. That's what these bullies are trying to do. They're trying to take away your confidence. They're trying to take away what's in here and then what's in here. If they can't take that away, then they have nothing. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you feel smaller than them. That's the whole sense. So if you keep your confidence and you keep your composure, and you know what? Like I said before, violence isn't always the answer. That's how I handled my problem. Everybody else is gonna have their problem. But at the end of the day, just have confidence. Who cares what they think? Nowadays, it's just words, bro. And after, if they're still in school and stuff like that, after that, none of that even matters anymore.
But would you recommend any type of like martial art or some type of sport that'll teach you how to defend
Yeah,
yourself?
it could, honestly, it doesn't even have to be a sport. It could even be craft making, music, videos. Obviously, I'm going to say boxing. Boxing is always a great source to find confidence, because I remember when I first stepped into a boxing gym, I instantly felt confident. I instantly felt like a completely different person, especially you have kids nowadays that play soccer, football, basketball, but you and I both know you can't play boxing. It's not every day where you go to school and people say, "Oh, I'm a basketball player, I'm a football player," but you say you're a boxer, and it's for girls and boys. So I think if they're trying to find something to give them more confidence, I highly recommend boxing for sure. And if you're not trying to compete, just to learn how to defend yourself, because it is a dangerous world out there. So I think it helped me out, and I'm gonna say I recommend that for them too.
Now, getting into the how you got into what you do now, which is announcing. I think that it's kind of random. Like you don't hear so many people say like I want to grow up and be a ring announcer. So where did this whole ring announcer thing start? I will start.
Honestly, in the beginning, I wanted to be a commentator like Jim Lampley.
For boxing.
Yeah, and Jim Lampley. I remember when I first heard Jim Lampley talk, it was for the Gaddy versus Ward fight, and that's when I really wanted to get. That's what I really wanted to do. But even before that, I had friends from the neighborhood say I would announce them and do stuff like that. And um, the whole announcing thing was more of a dream. It was just more like, oh man, that'd be nice if it happened, because at the time I was studying, law and things like that at school, um, and then I really got into just believing in myself and saying, you know what, this is really what I want to do. I could wake up every morning and be happy with it. And so um, I ended up meeting. I ended up doing commentating on my cell phone for a fight at the Tradiciones. You've been there before for fights. Um, and I remember I was on my phone and I was doing commentating and things like that. And actually, the Del Sol promoter and my manager, Gabriel Badarama, he was right behind me, and he was hearing me talk. And after that, he ended up messaging me on Facebook, and that's when he was like, "Hey, like, I like the way you talk. Like, have you ever done announcing before?" And I had told him in my bedroom. I've done announcing in my bedroom, but not out in public before. And he had given me the opportunity to announce for Fight Hard Promotions, him and Regal Ledesma, and also Emily too. Emily too. She gave me she helped me get the opportunities too. And from that point, I started to do announcing, and I did my first show with Fight Hard Promotions, and it was so awesome and so surreal. It was at the Legends Event Center, and it was just something crazy to me. And even before that, bro, I had prior experience in the sport. I had worked with I had done interviews backstage at fights on my cell phone, and I do interviews, and I ended up interviewing Buddy McGirt. And that to me, oh man, that was crazy to me to interview Buddy McGirt and ask him about Gaddy, him training Gaddy. And then I also worked with Michelle Rosado at her shows in Tucson, and I got more experience even before then. But when the announcing started, that's when I felt like that's what I wanted to do.
And that's one of the really cool things that I admire about you is that you genuinely love doing what you do. And so in the beginning you would take like any opportunity that you can. Like I remember like amateur shows. I remember one time we were hanging out and you had to because you had like a Muay Thai show, like
Yeah, I did. Yeah, bro, I did. Did I ever tell you too? I even did a runathon, dude. I announced at a runathon once, and I did. And this thing, people in this business, people think that it comes easy for it to anybody, and it's not. You and I both know it doesn't come easy. You've built you've built your contacts, and it didn't take you overnight. You and I both know it's taken years and years and years just to get that type of relationship with people and friendship with people in the sport, and you got to start from the ground up. You got to hold the spit bucket, and that's what I did. I held the spit bucket, but even with opportunities, that had nothing to do with announcing or commentating or interviews, I always found a way to interview people, especially with working with Michelle Rosado on her shows. I did fighter liaison, and I would pick them up from the airport, and I talked to these fighters. I'd actually have conversations with them, and they'd ask me what I wanted to do, and they would let me interview them, bro. I have interviews on my phone since 2017, 2018, 2019 of fighters that I've interviewed on my voice memos, and them just giving me a chance because it helped them out too. Sometimes fighters, they don't have that interview experience, and it helps them out just as much as it helps you. And so it's just grinding and grinding, working hard, and some days, you don't get an opportunity, and other days you do, but it's just all about, believing in yourself and not giving up until and what you believe, what you want to do. And that goes for anything, not just this. It can go for anything. So
So how did you eventually become like basically the main guy for Del Sol, and how cool is it working with them? Because it seems like everybody there is like one big family.
yeah, time, time. It took a lot of time. Obviously, I have footage from the first show I ever announced, and there's things that I've done in those prior shows that I've switched over and changed than what I do now. In the beginning of the shows, you've seen bout sheets before. I had all their information on bout sheets, bro. And you've seen bout sheets. They're so congested with names and things like that. And I wrote down all their information and reading it off of a paper. I've messed up a couple of people's names and records before. And that's when no cards came in. And no cards are important, especially when you're announcing a fight, because it's those specific two fighters on that no card, and it's a lot more easier. So that's one thing I also learned, and I've had a lot of people that have given me pointers along the way, a lot of announcers that have given me pointers along the way, and they didn't even have to give me pointers, but they took some time to give me some pointers. And there's that. There's just the changing of my voice, just creating a sort of personality when you're up there, and getting more and more shows, just staying busy. And then now, I love working with Del Sol. It's family oriented, and my wife goes to the shows, and everybody just is cool with everybody. And you know what? They've given me the opportunity to take that microphone and be their ring announcer, their official ring announcer, and I love it. It's awesome.
The next thing I want to talk to you a little bit about is about your style. You have a very unique style, but before we get into that, can you just briefly let us know how you got the name Razor Ramon?
Um, it was in the boxing gym. My coach, Randy Robles, and his wife Julie Robles, I've trained with them and blessed them, because they're also the main reason why I'm doing all this stuff, because they helped me get that initial push into all this, and they're the ones that believed in me in the beginning. So I give it all to them too. And every time I say that, they say, "No, we just showed you the door. You just broke it open. That's what you did." But I was at a gym. I was in the gym one day, and I actually like wrestling. As a kid, I watched wrestling a lot, and there's this wrestler named Razor Ramon.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I actually have an action figure of Razor Ramon in my closet right
I used to love wrestling, but I don't
now.
remember
Yeah,
that.
his name was Razor Ramon, the bad guy, and I had this shirt that said Razor Ramon, the bad guy, And I came in there, and my my coach Randy Robles looked at it, and he was like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt. That's what we'll call you, Razor Ramon, Razor Sharp. That's what we're gonna call you." And and also too, I think at one point he said I fought like Razor Ruddock because I was just heavy and things like that. But yeah, that's how I got the name. Is because I came in with a shirt like that, and he was like, "Oh, Razor Ruddock or Razor Ramon, that's your name."
That's cool, man. And so, when again, getting into the whole fashion thing, you do something that has your name written all over it now. Um, at first, it was kind of a big chance that you were taking because it was different for sure, and now it almost seems like there's even other people that are trying to buy your style with that. But what in the world possessed you to decide to start wearing sneakers with like tuxedos and stuff?
Um, Honestly, I looked at my sneakers one point, and I was like, "Man, those would look good with suits. Like those would look clean." And I know it was a huge chance to take because you can always get a flashy suit and dress shoes, and I wore the dress shoes in the beginning and things like that, and but I wanted to stand out. I wanted to do something different, and I felt like wearing sneakers would make me different from other people, make you find a different sense of style. And as far as I know, I'm the only one that does it. Um, but I make it work. That's the thing. I try to make sure that the sneaker matches with the suit as much as possible. And I just like doing it. It's exciting too because every event that I go to, I have these sometimes these kids will come up and be like, "What sneaker are you wearing today?" Or even sometimes the commission. There's this guy, some of these guys from the commission, they'll be like, "Oh, what sneakers you wearing today?" And so I just like doing it. It's exciting. It's something different. It makes it into me, like what you said before. It that's kind of like my thing right there is wearing the sneakers with the suit, and I think it's coming out good. I think I think it's doing me pretty well.
For sure, it's dope, man, for sure. And our good friend Josh, our cameraman and editor, he does a really great job with the video. So hopefully we can find a couple pictures of you, and we'll make sure that we insert here.
Oh yeah, well, for sure. And you know what? I'm sure there's a ton of pictures on my Instagram where you'll find me with different sneakers. I'm wearing the sneakers right now. Shout out Pick and Roll Kicks. So
For sure, man. Sounds good. And so, what I wanted to get into a little bit now is a little bit more of your personal life today. Um, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster to say the least. I feel like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I feel like I was chilling with Razor Ramon, and ever since then, now you're married and you're a father, and it's been up and down. Can you tell us a little bit about that, a little bit about the story about your twins?
yeah, yeah. When you met me, I was probably 22 when you met me, and I'm 27 now. We've been friends ever since. Um, it's been it's been a huge blessing. Being married. She's my best friend, and we've had we've had a lot of, obviously it's no secret, we've had a lot of crazy things happen to us. We had two wonderful baby boys. We have one right now. He's here and he's home with us. And unfortunately, we lost one, and it was something tough, to go through, especially so early in the marriage. When you're married, there's a sense of that honeymoon phase is what everybody talks about. And we get married, we find out we're pregnant, and then we find out we're having two twin identical boys. And then, we get the excitement for that, and then we find out we lost one, unfortunately. And it's tough, especially as a new, as any, for any parent having to bury your your kid before, before yourself. It's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's something not easy. It's definitely not going away anytime soon. Um, but I feel like sometimes God puts us in all these situations and puts us to a test, and sometimes the outcomes that you get aren't the ones that you want. But this one definitely put us through the test, but it made us stronger. We're always going to be parents to two boys. I'm always going to love both my kids, both my kids equally the same. But on the lighter side of things, we do have a son. He's here. He's healthy. He's home. And after, being in the NICU for 120 plus days, it's a blessing to have him home because, just looking at other parent situations, sometimes they don't get to bring their baby home. Sometimes they never come home, unfortunately, but we were blessed enough to have him come home with us and healthy, and it's been amazing. It's a learning experience, even before all this off camera. I was even talking to you about how I talk to my son, how I hang out with him, and just kind of making sure that I give him things that I didn't get, and make sure that he's good, and make sure that he's happy, he's healthy, and just give him an all around good life. I think that's kind of like the thing more that every parent wants to do. They always want to do better than what they got growing up. And so that's what I want to do, is make sure that he's good, and make sure that, he's special, and he's always going to have his older brother watching over him, and he's watching over us. But you know what? It's, like I said, it's been hard. It's been a tough time, but we're still blessed. He's been home for a week now.
How is it now? I mean, I'm sure it's one thing to see him at the hospital, but to actually see him home and like being a full-time father now,
Yeah.
how has that change been for you? It's your first.
They're right what they say, bro. You get less sleep. But you know what? I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's awesome because when we were there going to the hospital as much as we could, and he was in Phoenix, so we had to drive all the way out there, and that didn't even matter to us because we wanted to see him as much as we could. Um, but just, seeing him there in his incubator and watching him grow, I have the very first picture I took of him, and then seeing him now, he looks like a full grown, like, big old baby, and it's awesome, bro. It's awesome being a dad. I love talking to him, watching movies with him, cartoons, and I'm a kid. I'm like, a kid at heart myself, so I watch cartoons with my son too.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
And to go ahead and finish up this segment, I do wanna, let the people know that you do also have your YouTube channel, Razor Sharp Sports, where you interview fighters too. What inspired you to want to do interviews and put them on YouTube and stuff like that?
Honestly, when I was doing interviews on my phone, I just post them on my social media. I never had a channel, and I had people come up to me like, "Oh, you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "No, I don't," and they tell me you should get a YouTube channel. So even growing up, bro, I always wanted to have something that had my name on it. I always had it in the back of my head of making my own brand, and Razor Sharp Sports. When I created it, it was awesome, and with the help of Randy and Julie, they helped me build a logo, build a name, and then coming out with the shirts, and then building a YouTube channel. I love it. It's something, get like what you do now. You interview fighters, and people see the fighter, but they don't see the story behind the fighter. And that's what I like, is, telling their story, their input. And sometimes the questions that I ask don't even have to do with boxing. It just has to do with just everyday life. And I think that's what people want to see, is just like the person behind the gloves. and that's what I like to do.
Sure. So to finish up the segment, what would you say? What are some of your goals that you're looking to accomplish with your channel and with your announcing career?
Um, with the channel, I obviously want to grow it more and more. I definitely would like to do more merch drops. I just need to um, make the shirts and find somebody that can make the shirts and things like that. I would love to do more merch drops. Um, build the brand more, do more things with the brand. Like I would like to do more type of HBO 24/7 type of stuff, but for the local level, because you and I both know there is a bunch of talent here in Arizona that people don't know about, and just giving them that type of segment to do something like that, I would love to do that and just kind of do more like movie stuff. And as far as announcing, I want to keep working hard. Um, like I said, it's a day-to-day process. It's not going to come. It doesn't come easy. Um, but the main goal is I would love to announce in Las Vegas someday for a big fight. And if it's not for, that's more down the road, but even just to do an undercard or anything, just work hard and keep working hard, or even do it here. Because there's always big fights that happen here. I would love to get an opportunity to do it here, but I just need to keep working hard. And I know that in time I will get my opportunity. And when I do, I'll show the entire world that what Razor Ramon is made of. That's what I want to do is just keep getting better, keep moving forward, working hard every day, all gas, no brakes.
Sounds good, man. So to jump into the next segment that we have here, usually usually we have three fights, but only two of them are confirmed right now. We don't have too many big fights coming up that I know about. So I just want to get your take on on these upcoming fights and what you think about them. Okay. The first one, you're probably gonna give me a biased answer because you're from here, but what do you think about Benavidez versus Andre?
That's a good one. Obviously those two men, they're in the running they want to fight Canelo, obviously, and Andre Boo Boo, he's a dangerous fighter, very dangerous fighter. Yeah, I like David a little bit. I love David more for this fight. I think he's been doing things different, especially in his training camp. I 100% believe that he'll do the same outcome that he's had for the last few fights that he's had. And you know what? I think right now he will get that job done and get the fight, whether by knockout or stoppage. I think he's been showing that he can do that, whether it's stoppage or knockout. So I give it to David on this one, for that fight.
Perfect. And then the next one is the Canelo versus Charlo. Mind you, he's fighting the 154 Charlo.
Yeah, he's fighting the 154 Charlo, and Charlo's moving up in weight. That's dangerous to do, especially if you're putting that much pounds on top, and there's always the worry of how he's gonna move in the ring. Charlo is also a dangerous fighter. Canelo, a lot of people are starting to worry whether, his last fight, he went the full distance with the fighter that people believe that he should have finished off, and so a lot of people are kind of looking at that fight and thinking, are we gonna get the explosive Canelo that's gonna finish him off, but before the 12 rounds, or or are we gonna possibly see another upset? We just don't know. And but Charlo is doing some old school boxing stuff, and that's what I like about him. He's moving up in weight, for the straps, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that's some old school boxing stuff right there. He just wants to fight, and he wants to fight him, and he knows that he's not only putting the belts up, but he's also putting the O up, and that's going to be dangerous. But It's going to be a very exciting fight. I'm going to give it to Canelo for this one. On this fight, I pick him. I pick him winning round 9, because Canelo starts a little late. He likes to test out his fighters. He likes to see how they throw a jab, how they move, kind of like what Floyd does, And so, I'm gonna give it to Canelo round 9.
For sure. Awesome, man. Well, just to go ahead and finish up, you know the drill. You helped me with the channel for a long time. So, the last segment is the 12 rounds. 12 rounds. We just kind of random stuff to get to know the person, outside of what they do. So, just kind of have some fun, random kind of rapid fire type questions, and we'll finish up with that. Okay.
Okay.
So the first question is, what is the first thought that enters your head when you wake up in the morning?
Um, Making sure my son's okay.
Now, question number 2 is, what was your favorite childhood cartoon?
That's Ed, and Eddie. Loved watching it. Love watching that show.
Question number 3 is, what is a Razor Ramon music playlist like? So if we just take your phone and just shuffle, where are we gonna run into?
Oh, bro, you're gonna get a little bit of everything. You're gonna get Zapp and Roger. You're gonna get MC Magic. You're gonna get some country. You're gonna get some reggaeton. You're gonna get some corridos, Fuerza Regita, Peso Pluma, Chelino Sanchez, Banda Recordo, 2000s rap, a bunch of old school rap. You're gonna get a little bit of everything in there.
Question number 4 is, who is your favorite boxer of all time?
Easy, Arturo Thunder Carry.
Question number 5 is, let's say you finish a really intense workout and you get to choose what you want to eat after. What would you say is your go-to if you could pick what you want to eat after a really good workout?
Healthy or unhealthy?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, dude, if
Well,
it's
you could give us both.
unhealthy, Chinese food. Healthy, probably. I like fish a lot, bro. So probably something with fish in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure. Question number 6 is, I know you're a big sneakerhead, and you're big into fashion. If you had to pick one sneaker, what would you say is your favorite sneaker of all time?
Of all time, favorite sneaker would probably be the one that I'm wearing right now, the Jordan 1. I love the Jordan 1s, and just any color. Well, not any colorway, but just a specific colorway. I just like how they feel. So probably the Jordan 1 is my favorite sneaker of all time.
Okay. And then question number 8 is, what is the best life advice that you've ever received?
Best life advice I've ever received. Probably, I want to go with the first note that I've gotten from an announcer, J.R. Cardenas. He had announced the show, and he gave me, he signed a card, and on there it said, "Know the sport, love the sport, be neutral, and just, love what you do." And he signed the card, and I have that framed. I have that framed, actually. So just love what you do. Love what you do, whatever it is. Whether it's, if you're a mailman and you love being a mailman, love what you do. As much as everybody else wants you to do something different, as long as you love what you're doing, that's all that matters. So
For sure.
love what you do.
Question number 9 is, what is the best boxing fight that you've ever watched live?
Best boxing fight that I've ever watched live. It was probably, man, ESPN wise, it was probably Navarrete versus
Dogboy?
Dogbe.
The second one, right, in Tucson?
Yeah, the second one. I wasn't there for the first one. The second one. I've seen Dogbe fight too, and that was an exciting one to watch too.
What was the biggest name in boxing that you've ever met in person?
Out of everybody, dang. I always say I've met a lot of people here. I've met Michael Carbajal here out of Phoenix, and that guy's a legend in general. He's a Hall of Famer. But with you, oh man, going to Vegas with you was probably we met Edgar Berlanga. I want to say Fernando et Ferros Vargas, dude. That was insane just to meet him and then have him sign my glove. Oh man, that one probably that one for sure, dude, for sure.
And then the final question that we have for you, question number 12, is: do you have any hidden talent?
Um, Hidden
Play
talents.
any instruments or anything that we don't know? Or you did the
I love cooking. I'm a really good cook. I'll give you that. And then I like doing a lot of imitations, dude. Especially like Monday Night Raw type of stuff. Um, with the Bustamante family in Vegas, I did a bunch of that like Monday Night Raw type of commentary stuff, and I love doing that. So just imitations of things or random voices, things like that. I like doing that. That's probably I don't know if that's a talent, but
yeah, for
that's what I
sure.
like doing, dude.
All right, sounds good, man. Well, I really appreciate you giving me some time today, man. Thank you for again for opening your door and having us today. Is there anything else that you want to give to the supporters, to your family, friends, any social media you want to give out?
Yeah. Follow me on my Instagram. Follow me on my Facebook. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, Razor Sharp Sports. Um, Del Sol Boxing. Follow them. Next upcoming shows that I have next week is Thunderbolt. That's gonna be a good one. I'll be doing commentating for that, and then September 16th. You guys don't want to miss out. Definitely. Del Sol Boxing Promotions, Arizona Federal Theater, Mexican Independence Day. It's gonna be huge. Buy your tickets now because they're selling out quick. And if anybody's trying to buy sneakers, go to Pick and Roll Kicks. They're always the best place. I always go there to get my sneakers. Also, Master Kicks. He's another good guy. He got me my wedding shoes. So, um, to all my friends and my family that love and support me, my beautiful wife, my son, my two baby boys. You know, thankful for them and thankful for everybody that has followed me from the beginning and that's believed in me. And to all the new people that are following me right now, thank you guys so much. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to sit here with you or do this interview. So,
Perfect. Awesome, man. Again, thank you. Appreciate it, man. And thank you, everybody, for watching another episode of Box Talk with Luis Madrid. But
Lights, bigger stage, world watching, streets of me.